Good afternoon and welcome to the Shawnee Chamber of Commerce annual meeting, filmed on-site at PBI Gordon Corporation's offices in Shawnee. Thank you to our hosts for allowing us to be here today and film. I am Ann Smith-Tate, our CEO, and I am joined today by our 2020 Chairman of the Board, Michelle Herman, retired CEO of Sunflower House, and our incoming 2021 Chairman, Parker Amos, President of the Amos Family Funeral Home and Crematory. As you can see, we've taken a different approach to our annual meeting this year in consideration of the health and safety of our members and staff, and along with our social responsibility to help stop the spread of COVID-19. So we've made the difficult decision to ask you to put away your ball gowns and suits for the time being in favor of maybe yoga pants and pajama bottoms and transition with us to this virtual format. However, we are no less excited to join you today, along with the help of a few of our colleagues, to share with you the accomplishments of this historic year, reflect a bit on our shared 75-year history as your champion for business and community development, and look to what is possible in the future, all here in Shawnee. But before we jump into our program, I want to acknowledge today's annual meeting presenting sponsor, Amos Family Funeral Home. Like the Shawnee Chamber, the Amos family has been serving Shawnee for 75 years, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. But thank you, Parker and Greg, for your continuous support of the Chamber and its mission. We would also like to extend a special thank you to our 2020 Investor Guild for their generous support throughout the year. We simply could not provide the level of service that we do without the financial support of these companies. Advent Health, the American Family Insurance Agencies of Brian Rapp, Brad Henry, Jennifer Williamson, Michelle Herford, Kyle Zeller, and Michelle Underwood. Central Bank of the Midwest, City of Shawnee, Elanco, Waste Management. Additionally, Amos Family Funeral Home and Crematory, Complete Construction Services, Country Club Bank, GBA, Evergy, Overland Park Regional Medical Center, Shawnee Mission Ford, and the Zardariki Development Corporation. Now, as traditional in our annual meeting, it is time to publicly thank those that have served in positions of leadership with our board of directors and to present our new slate of directors and officers. The time, dedication, and commitment means so much to our membership, our organization, and the community. So thank you to our 2021 Board of Directors. Jake Akehurst with Johnson County Community College, Don Chu of PBI Gordon, Mayor Michelle Disler of the City of Shawnee, Nathan Fisher of the Fisher Group, Dr. Michael Fulton of Shawnee Mission School District, Dr. Frank Harwood of the Unified School District number 232, Mike Kellum of McClure Engineering, Mike McVeigh of Transport Brewery, Mighty Pothen Owen of Advent Health, Don Rattan of Everfit, Kristen Shelley Chapin of the Shelley Chapin Law Firm, and Kevin Tubasing of the Land Source. This year, our executive board members are Parker Amos, also president of the Amos Family Funeral Home. John Wills will serve as our vice chair and owner of his own State Farm Insurance Agency. Chad Sporer is our treasurer and the director of marketing and finance at Complete Construction Service. Heidi Thummel will be our past chair and director of business development at GBA. Rusty Mudgett will be our SEDC chair and director of business development with Complete Property Solutions, and Mickey Sandifer as our Visit Shawnee chair. Additionally, I want to acknowledge the retiring officers for their dedicated service to our board. Kent Luther of Elanco, Todd Fitzpatrick of CS Carey Incorporated, and Scott Woods of Advent Health. We also want to acknowledge and thank Carol Lehman with Johnson County Community College for serving as the chair of the Economic Development Council for the past 2 years, as well as Neil Sawyer, who served as chair of the Visit Shawnee Advisory Committee for the last 3 years. And of course, a huge heartfelt thank you to you, Michelle, who retired from the Sunflower House in October. Thank you for all of your leadership and service. So, Michelle, as chair of the board in 2020, I believe that you can acknowledge that there were several struggles to overcome and a few obstacles to surmount in what was absolutely an unprecedented year. But I am curious what did you see as any specific highlights of the year?
And it was certainly an interesting year to be involved in the Chamber of Commerce. I was reflecting on my comments to the membership last year around this time as we celebrated many local achievements with 500 people at the Sheraton. We were headed into what seemed to be an optimistic year with a new business park coming out of the ground, with downtown improvements also being wrapped up, and of course the Chiefs were destined to win the Super Bowl 1 week later. This year did challenge the community, but I was so encouraged by the way our business owners and employees embraced it and used their creativity to solve the problems brought about by COVID-19. The Shawnee community showed up for each other and overcame the challenges in a variety of ways, including supporting their favorite local restaurants, sending out prayers and support for our frontline workers, or just learning how to navigate working from home, all while many were supporting children in online school for the first time ever.
It definitely was a lot. So Parker, what about you?
I agree, and it was inspiring to see the Chamber leaning into its mission of promoting the interests of Shawnee and being a leading advocate for our businesses. I've been so incredibly proud of the way that Shawnee Chamber has jumped in and provided guidance, educating regarding COVID relief, even as specific as helping members complete forms to get access to funds. I know the staff spent hours curating and sharing the tremendous amount of fluid content that was coming in from all directions and finding the most up-to-date information to keep the members aware of how best to navigate through these difficult times. Whether it was through any number of webinars or the COVID-19 resource page on the Shawnee Chamber website, you could count on them to be a reliable source of information.
Parker, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. And, behind the scenes, we were working to bring our members together to find out what was needed and how we might help. So from contacting them personally to conducting various focus groups, the priority was and always has been learning about our members' needs so that we can best advocate for them. There is power in these conversations and being able to turn words into action. So this is why the Shawnee Chamber worked not just with our members, but all of our partner chambers throughout the community and state to discuss the issues that impact businesses, create solutions to stabilize the local economy, to determine a brighter path forward.
Great point, Anne. And I believe that it's this commitment and quality of work that led to what I think is one of the greatest highlights that you had for 2020, achieving your reaccreditation as a 5-star Chamber of Commerce from the United States Chamber. Only 2% of the 7,000 plus chambers in the U.S. have achieved this high honor, and only one other in the state of Kansas. I'm especially proud that you achieved perfect scores in the areas of finance, technology, facilities, and human resources. The entire membership should be honored to be part of such an esteemed chamber.
That was a great achievement, Michelle, but I'll be honest, I did miss the opportunity to get out, meet more of our members face-to-face at networking and educational events. I also missed the time to gather in person with the Chamber staff, the board of directors, and other business leaders to learn about each other. I wish that we had more in-person opportunities to discuss how to work at the Chamber and how it can result in a more robust local economy.
I also missed that, Parker, as that's such an important role the Chamber plays in the community. However, even though we had the challenge of not being in person much last year, there's been so many members and volunteers that have stepped up, not just in 2020, but year after year to help guide the Chamber in its mission. As we do annually, we'd like to highlight 2 special members who've shown exactly this spirit, our Chamber Star and our Ambassador of the Year for 2020. The Chamber Star Award was developed to recognize a volunteer that shines with extraordinary measures of service and commitment to the Shawnee Chamber of Commerce. This award was established in 2007. Recognition of this recipient is not necessarily about joining all the committees of the Chamber. This is about continued support and dedication of ongoing programs with a radiating spirit. Although his company has been a member since 1993, our recipient started participating in the Chamber 3 years ago. He's been active in attending nearly all ribbon cuttings, groundbreakings, AM Connects, and other networking events. He's also stepped up to join the golf committee when first getting involved and has been instrumental in working with staff on the putting contest and shuttling volunteers on days of the tournament, making sure that it's always a complete success. He worked especially hard during last year's golf tournament to help implement our new COVID-safe format. In addition to participating in events, his greatest asset has been providing staff with encouragement and suggestions on many of our offerings. He's a member of various area chambers and is helpful in keeping us updated on regional trends. For his service and commitment to the Chamber, we would like to recognize this year's recipient of the 2020 Chamber Star Award, Kent Nolan, Security Bank of Kansas City. Thank you, Kent. We'll make sure to coordinate with you to get your award in a picture. We would also like to take this opportunity to recognize the 2020 Ambassador of the Year. This year's recipient has been involved in the Chamber since 2015, and just 3 years later, her company encouraged her to take the next step by participating in the Shawnee Tomorrow Leadership Program. In recent years, she's been also invested her time and effort in the Shawnee Chamber by joining the Total Resource Campaign and Ambassadors. In addition to her work with us, she is also very involved in Rotary International. For her service and commitment to the Chamber and our community, we would like to recognize this year's recipient, Kelly Vale from Construction Design Works, as Ambassador of the Year. Kelly, we will also do the same and make sure to coordinate a time for a picture and to drop off your award.
Thank you, Michelle, and congratulations to Kelly and Kent. We are so appreciative of these volunteers and really all of our Chamber members who make the work possible. So lots of great things we've talked about, but Parker, I'm curious, as to you look to the future, what are you most excited about?
Well, we touched on some of what makes the Shawnee Chamber an organization that we're all so proud to be a part of. And I'm personally thrilled to be chairing the Chamber Board as the Shawnee Chamber of Commerce celebrates its 75th anniversary. When my great-grandfather, E. Paul Amos, started the Amos Family Funeral Home and Shawnee Chamber in 1946, it was on the heels of World War II. In that same year, the country was just beginning to envision what a post-war future would look like. There were many unknowns to navigate, but he saw then, and is still true today, the power in uniting the voice of business leaders and elected officials to discuss how the position of Shawnee for growth and development. He knew the role that all of our businesses would play in creating a strong and vibrant future. While we're not recovering from a war that involved fighter jets and tanks, Shawnee, and in fact the rest of the entire world, is trying to understand what a post-COVID future will look like and how we're going to function as a business community. There are a lot of unknowns, but we have the unique privilege to help shape our community where businesses continue to not just survive, but thrive and play a part in creating a city where the workforce of tomorrow want to choose as their future home. I'm honored to be part of the legacy of this community and chamber and look forward to helping chart the path for the next 75 years. The Chamber's put together a special video to celebrate our important anniversary, and I'm excited for you to listen to what others have said about the Shawnee Chamber's past.
How does a small farm truck town transform itself into a bustling and vibrant suburban city in the short span of just a few generations? Through a strong business community, all invested in supporting its Chamber of Commerce. 1946 marked a turning point for the trajectory of business growth in Shawnee, Kansas. It was a significant moment unknown to many of its residents and businesses at the time, as that was the year a group of local businessmen met at the Green Parrot and voted to establish an organization now known as the Shawnee Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce came along probably in the 50s, I think, is when we actually joined the Chamber of Commerce. Seemed like I've been involved in the Chamber of Economic Development ever since. Chamber's been a part of Shawnee for 75 years, and that's amazing, you know. And the staff was just tremendous then, and it's tremendous now what they've done.
Among those businesses who planted the first seed of the Shawnee Chamber of Commerce are two that still maintain their membership today. They are Amos Family Funeral Home and Crematory and Culkin's Electric Supply Company.
I mean, the history is, you can't do a Shawnee history without having the Amos Family Funeral Home in there.
Well, the chamber office was in our building, and so I was in there talking to everybody that was involved with the chamber at that time, and it was just a really exciting time for business and for us.
Culkin's Electric Supply, my family's business, would have been one of the early members in the chamber. I knew we had been members for a long time, starting with my grandfather. So obviously it was important to my grandfather, it was important to my uncle, my dad. I know that's where they gained a lot of networking.
I can't say enough wonderful words about the family and what kind of impact they had on the chamber, with E. Paul Amos being one of the original chairmen of the board of the Shawnee Chamber.
Whenever we did something, we would first go to the Chamber of Commerce. What do you think of it? Get their input into it. You know, they were tremendous help.
With these founding members, and others like the Flums and their Shawnee State Bank, the Zardas and Rickies with their dairy and varying developments, the McEnaney's and their construction company, and many more, the Shawnee Chamber of Commerce as an organization began to thrive as both it and the community grew at a rapid pace.
When Shawnee Mission Parkway was built, that was a big, big thing. And the city of Shawnee had an awful lot to do with bringing that here. And the people of Shawnee cooperated with it because they saw that as a gateway, if you will, all the way. You know, it helped build and create interest in Shawnee.
The chamber was a lot different back in the 1980s. They had, I think, maybe 2 full-time people, and it didn't focus as much maybe on business development. Tourism, wasn't as active. A lot of it was just get-togethers.
As the Chamber evolved from a networking organization to also become intimately involved in Shawnee's business attraction, the Chamber assumed the duties of economic development and of the Convention and Visitors Bureau.
When I first got involved in politics in Shawnee in 1983, economic development was done inside the city. However, the surrounding cities, Overland Park, Lenexa, Olathe, economic development was done within the Chamber of Commerce. So it was just kind of a natural fit to start working with the Chamber.
I think it just helped us, help the city of Shawnee to actually recruit more business to this area. I joined the Chamber in January of '91, so it's actually 30 years now that I've been involved with the Chamber.
It began to have a seat at the table in many important conversations, working to enhance industrial and commercial activity all across the city.
One of the ones, obviously, is Bear. Several banks were involved in that, 3 or 4 banks we had, and Deffenbach, or Waste Management.
Well, the year I was chairman, which back then was president, but Shawnee was also going through an awful lot of building business parks. And Simmons Mattress came, Craft Tool came. That was a big time for Shawnee.
But it seemed like we were in the real estate business all our lives. Tencavera Plaza was one of our properties up there. You got Perimeter Park, K7 Industrial Park was another one. Shawnee Crossing is another one.
I truly believe that each company that comes to Shawnee, I just always assume that's the work of the city and really the chamber.
With the growth of duties came the growth of staff. Various leaders and staff served the chamber over the years, each leaving their own positive impact on both members and the community.
Joe Mayo was the executive director. He was the executive director, and then I was on the board when we interviewed his replacement, which ended up being Charlie Vogt. And Betty Charlton was the administrative assistant when I first joined the chamber, and Betty was the Shawnee mom. She knew what was going on all the time. She was a wonderful person.
My partnership with the Shawnee Chamber started when I actually opened up a business, a coffee shop at 75th and Quivira called the Everyday Gourmet. I actually went on the board of directors the next year, and I served there for 5 years, and then I was chairman of the board, and they were making a change at the chamber, and they asked me if I would be interested in being the president of the chamber. And through lots of training and support from great staff and board, I was able to be the president there for 17 years.
The individuals that work for the chamber on economic development, they all did a great job representing the city and going out there and bringing a lot of things that Shawnee didn't have in the past.
Through this time, the chamber developed an impressive level of professionalism, rivaled by few in the region.
The board evolved to a very high professional level. Professional staff was added to the organization. The chamber grew in terms of size and programming. And one of the things that I think that had the major impact was our decision to go through the process through the U.S. Chamber of Commerce for accreditation.
The core function of a chamber is to connect its members, and the Shawnee Chamber was no stranger to this fact. Over the years, it grew both its membership and a variety of events and programs, many of which members developed their own individual passions for. These include the timeless and popular Chamber Coffees, the Leadership Development Program of Shawnee Tomorrow, the always fun annual dinner, and many, many more.
Actually, something in my opinion Shawnee's always done better, frankly, than the other chambers and even some of the larger chambers is their annual dinner.
So that gala is still known as one of the premier events in the Johnson County area.
The annual dinner is always a fantastic and fun evening, but I think really some of the new things that have come on that we've really enjoyed, the shooting event that they have each fall is a fun way to engage members. The day at the K and going to the Royals game is always a fun event. And then the Pork and Politics event that they have each summer.
We always have a great time with the golf tournaments.
I like the luncheons. I like the monthly luncheons, you know, the ones that we get to sponsor one, being an Investor Guild member.
2012 is when I did the Shawnee Tomorrow Leadership Program, and it helped me get more acclimated into the chamber. So I was going to different events, having some familiar faces, people I had stuff in common with, and that was something that really helped me transition into becoming more comfortable with the chamber and really getting involved.
Primarily Shawnee Tomorrow, I was in the class of 2006. The networking and connections that I made during it were really fulfilling. There was a day where there was Education Day and Healthcare Day and State Day and City Day, all these different days and different experiences that we had together. So it was a benefit both personally and professionally for me.
75 years of growth for an organization and its community is an impressive feat. And the Shawnee Chamber is not finished yet.
The chamber staff is all invested in the city of Shawnee, and that's incredibly apparent. All the things that you could possibly ask for are things that the Shawnee Chamber of Commerce has shown that they're going to follow through with.
People within the chamber are very friendly and very engaging, and it's not just for large businesses. So it's just, I feel like a really rewarding organization to be part of for sure.
The fact the city of Shawnee has a chamber that is of such high quality and working, to help, with the common goal of making Shawnee the best that it can possibly be, the chamber's in great hands moving forward.
It just seems like a really good group of people that are looking out for the greater good. Without them, I don't think the city would have the same landscape that we do today.
I think without the chamber, Shawnee really wouldn't have much of a voice, I think, in the region, bringing those ideas, those best practices, innovative opportunities, and becoming a voice for the business community. And at the end of the day, the chamber's built a extremely close partnership with the city and all of our staff.
I just think it's an important part for us as a service business to make sure that we are part of the service businesses in our community, and the Shawnee Chamber is sure a service business.
When you look around at what the city has gained by the chamber being a part of the community, it's just amazing what they did.
I just want to congratulate the Shawnee Chamber for their 75 years of history.
Over 40 years that I've been involved with the chamber, but I think it's a unique position, especially for a 75th anniversary with Parker Amos being the income president, chairman of the board of the chamber. You have his father, grandfather, and great-grandfather, who I knew all of them over a 75-year period of time. Just shows there's a lot of long history in this community of people owning successful businesses for a long time.
By continuing to provide its members a stellar level of service and remaining a lasting voice for its community's growth, the Shawnee Chamber of Commerce will always be a pivotal organization, working for its city and its bright future.
I am so passionate about the history of Shawnee, and an important part of that history is the partnership that we have had with the Shawnee Chamber of Commerce, the Economic Development Council, and Visit Shawnee. I just want to take the time to say thank you for all of these wonderful years of a great partnership and friendship with the City of Shawnee. Make sure to tune in on February 18th for the State of the City for the updates of what's going on and what we're looking at for our future.
Congratulations to the Shawnee Chamber of Commerce for 75 years. I'm Ben McInerney. This is Phil McInerney, Eric Boseman. We represent the second and third generation here at McInerney Construction. For over 65 years, we've been actively involved and will continue to be involved over the next 75 years as we continue to work with small businesses and other leaders throughout the city of Shawnee. Again, congratulations for 75 consistent years, and we look forward to the next ones. Go Chiefs!
Hi, Shawnee Chamber. This is Marlisa Van Kemsik with Shawnee Community Services. We love the Chamber. They're great partners. They've been partners for a long time. See, here we are, more than 40. Thank you.
Congratulations to the Chamber for 75 years. I was honored to serve as the chair of the Shawnee Chamber 3 years ago. Met a lot of people, business connections, as well as made a lot of friends through the Chamber. And certainly one of the best things that I did in my career, and would certainly recommend it to anybody that's coming to the community or does business in Shawnee.
Congratulations to the Shawnee Chamber of Commerce for 75 years. This is a great anniversary. 75 years is a long time of helping community and helping the businesses that we're engaged with. I've been involved in the Chamber for a number of years, and I served past chair a couple years ago. And you get out of the Chamber what you put into it. In these times we're in right now, you really need to stay engaged and help other Chamber members, because you get out of the Chamber what you put into it. Again, congratulations to the Shawnee Chamber for 75 years. Let's help Parker Amos have a good, successful year this year.
Wow, what a great tribute. We've accomplished so much in our 75 years in Shawnee and gotten so much done in our community. As for getting things done, even with dealing with COVID in 2020, there was still no exception for your Shawnee Chamber. Instead of us listing everything that we did and what happened, Michelle and I have asked some of our fellow board members and volunteers to help us share today some of the good news of the last year. One of the pillars of the Chamber that certainly kept busy was governmental affairs. To hear more about how the Chamber worked to advocate and inform members and voters, let's check in with our Chamber lobbyist, Natalie Bright, and our Government Affairs Committee Chair, Joe Riedel with Straub Construction.
Thanks, Parker. Unless you were too deep in COVID lockdown, you know that 2020 was consumed with politics from the primaries, conventions, and debates to the presidential election, and Natalie and I were glued to all of it. While the federal politics were riveting, there was no shortage of political action at the state and local levels too. This year we hosted a record 11 candidate forums that reached hundreds of business leaders and constituents. We heard from politicians seeking election for the national offices in the U.S. Senate and House of Representatives to state offices in our county commission. We hosted the first Chamber Town Hall with our state's U.S. Senator Jerry Moran, allowing you exclusive access to ask your questions about COVID relief for small businesses, among other issues. We also heard from Lieutenant Governor and Secretary of Commerce David Tolan and Attorney General Derek Schmidt on how the state was responding to the unprecedented demands of the coronavirus.
That's right, Joe. As your Chamber of Commerce, we value our role as your trusted source for up-to-date information on issues that concern your business. This past year, we had a valued seat at the table when discussing issues like proposed legislation at the federal level related to COVID relief funds, or at the state level discussing the plan to replenish the Unemployment Trust Fund and implementation of a statewide health and safety measures, including the Mask On, Economy Strong campaign. Your chamber participated in county and regional meetings when elected officials and business executives to make certain our local industry could remain open and the voices of our struggling small businesses were heard.
And notably, this summer we organized small businesses and several local breweries around the Lose the 30 campaign. Through this education campaign, in partnership with neighboring chambers, we were able to effectively remove an antiquated rule from county statute and allow small businesses to operate without unnecessary regulations. Cheers to that! Now, speaking of local breweries, let's check in at one of Shawnee's favorite neighborhood spots to hear from Mike McVeigh and Jake Akehurst.
Cheers to you, Joe and Natalie. And cheers to you, Mike. I know your industry was pleased with the outcome of removing the 30% food sales law. That was just one of the ways the Chamber supported our local businesses in 2020. They also did so much behind the scenes and directly with members in regards to COVID relief and resources. When the stay-at-home order was released in March, the Chamber staff worked directly with City Hall to relax codes on temporary signage to allow for promotion of new hours and curbside delivery options. They also partnered with City Hall to lift restrictions on delivery times so our big box stores and groceries could manage the increased demands in goods, which made certain Shawnee citizens could have access to necessary items during the shutdown. The Chamber also worked to help those that were laid off by setting up a web portal that connected them to employers who were hiring. And of course, they helped us at Johnson County Community College as we worked to retrain and reskill thousands of Johnson Countyans, positioning them for better careers.
Jake, it's really times like this that you realize the power of the Chamber and of our Shawnee community. I know, as owner of a small business, navigating the amount of information coming from different places was overwhelming. Receiving the daily, then weekly COVID-specific emails was very helpful. They consolidated the various resources and news articles and kept me and other businesses in Shawnee informed on the CARES Act and regional changes. Especially appreciated the opportunity to hear directly from Vice President of Small Business with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and even ask him a question or two. Here at Transport, we were also able to take advantage of the local Shawnee Economic Recovery Grant Program and the grants available at the county level that specifically benefited small businesses, all in part to the Chamber's resourcefulness and assistance.
You know, Mike, I bet when the restrictions were lifted in May, the Chamber's reopening toolkits were really helpful. I saw you proudly displayed your poster from the Chamber showing that you were open for business.
That's right. One of the biggest things many businesses like us received was the consistent and robust social media presence of the Chamber. Between the Shawnee shout-outs and the encouragement to support our local restaurants and retailers, everyone was able to get a nice boost that helped us survive the first impact of COVID.
Yes, and even with the challenges of 2020, you and the other restaurants around here have really started to bring downtown back to life. I know there's so much going on Johnson Drive and up and down Neiman Road in the heart of our city. To learn more about that, let's hear from two other Chamber members involved in downtown Shawnee.
Greetings from downtown Shawnee. Kevin and I are under the marquee of the beautifully renovated Aztec Theater. This lovely restored 1920s era theater is just one of the many businesses to open in downtown this year. Despite the COVID closures and the economic downturn, there are a lot of great things happening in downtown Shawnee. First and foremost, the orange cones are gone. After years of construction, Neiman Road is complete and it looks fantastic. The undergrounding of the utilities, streetscaping, new signage, and banners have created a beautiful entrance to the downtown. It's also great to drive down and see your beautiful building coming up out of the ground. Without that nearly complete, the Bloom development ready to break ground, it will certainly be a transformation to the entire community.
We're certainly very excited to be contributing to the vitality of downtown, and things are really starting to happen. This year, downtown welcomed a new family favorite, McLean's Market. Since their opening this summer, Shawnee residents have been safely gathering to share coffee, pastries, and friendly conversation, or just going through the drive-thru and taking their favorite salad home for dinner. In addition, Drastic Measures, Shawnee's premier cocktail lounge, opened offering craft cocktails and good times. One of our other favorites, Sancho's Streetside Tacos, expanded, and next year we will see even more places like Old Shawnee Pizza and Aunt Jean's with an updated presence. Last year, we said goodbye to a longtime downtown staple, Hartman Hardware. While we are all sad to see this institution close, we are excited about Russ Pearson's plans for this building's future. I hear there are some great announcements coming soon.
I am just so excited about all the possibilities this area holds and that we are bringing together new and old businesses to create the downtown we've been thinking about, dreaming about for a long time. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we will be able to bring the parades and community celebrations back to the area this summer, that makes Shawnee so special. Kevin, fun fact. Did you know that there are 3 businesses downtown that were some of the original members of the Shawnee Chamber?
Yes.
They are Calkins Electric, Donovan's Garage, and of course, Amos Family Funeral Home.
I did know that. And generational support of these companies is what makes Shawnee and the Chamber so unique. While we continue to evolve and grow, we never lose our hometown spirit that makes us a place that I am proud to call my home. And while we are excited about redevelopment of downtown, there are lots of other things happening in Shawnee's economy. On that, let's hear from 2021 SEDC Chair Rusty Mudgett.
Thanks. I'm Rusty with Complete Property Solutions in the Shawnee Economic Development Council. And like everybody here in Shawnee, I can't wait to see downtown realize its full potential and become that great place to visit, live, work, and play. Our Shawnee Chamber and Economic Development Council have been and will continue working hard to create new opportunities downtown and all across Shawnee. We know that real economic development doesn't just respond to opportunities, it has to help create opportunities. And it's because of that philosophy that I'm able to be here with you today at Building 1 in the new Heartland Logistics Park. In June of 2020, we broke ground on this 184-acre business park that was 20 years in the making. This historic event was attended by Governor Kelly and Secretaries Toland and Lawrence. And over the next several years, this park will feature nearly 2 million square feet of industrial space. And it puts Shawnee in a great position to capitalize on the key sectors of e-commerce, logistics, manufacturing, and production that continue to thrive. And of course, welcome new businesses and new jobs to our city. Despite the challenges of 2020, Shawnee attracted over 500 new jobs and nearly $60 million in new capital investment from projects like the expansions of the Amazon and FedEx facilities. We welcome new businesses to town like Haas & Brown Engineers, Shear Products, Amanda Blue, and Cane & Stone. And we're confident that these new folks will quickly learn what we all already know, that Shawnee is not just a great place to grow a business, but it's also a great place to call home. The EDC is always improving the way that we conduct economic development. We strive to bring together stakeholders to collaborate, plan, and execute projects that we can all be proud of. So, in those efforts, numerous staff and EDC members joined forces last year to create the first update of our city's strategic and comprehensive plans. Our EDC team is always striving to create new ways for our businesses to connect and grow. And out of those efforts this year, we created the new Industrial Alliance, which will offer a brand new platform to build business in this key market right here in Shawnee. And this year, we'll continue to focus on workforce development initiatives like Shawnee Next and the teacher immersion programs. And as always, we will continue to push for economic success here in Shawnee. Now let's hear from Jeff Myers and Jeff Stewart on some of the great things happening for Shawnee in sports and tourism.
Thanks, Rusty. Unfortunately, tourism had its most challenging year ever in 2020, and the effect of nearly total halt in travel was also felt here in Shawnee. Like many others, our Shawnee hotels temporarily closed down and focused on how they can safely reopen for business and welcome back guests once again. Luckily, we're happy to say that all 5 of Shawnee's hotels did reopen and are experiencing a welcome rebound of guests staying on site. While last year was tough on our hotels, one of Shawnee's most important tourism sites did see some amazing improvements. Can you tell us a bit more, Jeff?
You bet. We're standing at the Mid-America Sports Complex, historically one of the most used premier softball and baseball facilities in the Midwest. Jeff, you were on the Johnson County Park and Recreation District's Board of Commissioners at the time it was decided to invest $49 million in Mid-America Sports Complex and Mid-America West Sports Complex over the next several years. For that, I am sure everyone in Shawnee is very thankful. Those improvements included new fencing, backstops, dugouts, and shade-covered seating, taking a nice facility and beginning the transition into a first-class state-of-the-art facility. Improvements will continue as we have lots of great plans, some of which include new athletic field lighting, new synthetic turf on all 24 fields, a fan zone with amenities, concessions, restroom facilities, and much, much more.
That's great, Jeff. Those enhancements will really be a game changer for our tournament planners. I know a lot about sports, and I can tell you that the quality of facilities really makes a difference when choosing where to play. I'm sure the partnership with the city will also help to keep things on top of the line here.
Very true. I know that JCPRD and the Visit Shawnee team is very busy actively booking tournaments here again at Mid-America and Mid-America West Sports Complex, as well as other Shawnee sports facilities. But that's not all that they do. In my time sitting on their advisory committee, I've heard about so many ways they've partnered with our state, regional, and local tourism organizations. One great example is their partnership with the KC Regional Destination Alliance, in which they've been promoting Shawnee stops on their TRIPS program aimed at getting people out and exploring Kansas City.
That's a great example. I've also heard that they've won a marketing award from the State Travel Association for their Visitor's Guide edition of Shawnee magazine. Kevin and his team sure are busy.
They sure are, but they're not the only ones that stay busy at the Shawnee Chamber. To find out other things that are going on, let's send it over to Chad and Ryan at Pathlight Brewing.
Thanks, Jeff. While COVID meant we couldn't meet as much in person as we'd like to, Flex and our Young Professionals program still lived into its mission. We kept developing community leaders and got them networking. We brought on a new leadership team member. We collected items for Shawnee Community Services. We co-hosted the first ever joint YP event with Olathe and OP Chambers. We had our A Seat at the Table event right here at wonderful Pathlight Brewing, and we held our inaugural Downtown Dash where we got to explore downtown Shawnee in all its revival glory. Oh, and best of all, we grew attendance by 50% at our second ever Axes and Taxes. So yeah, Flex was pretty busy.
Dang, Chad, I'll say Flex was busy. I mean, you guys were really rocking it. So, do you have any big plans for this year?
We do. We've got some great speakers and events in the works. And while we'll be monitoring COVID for safety measures, we'll still have lots of great ways to get young professionals connected in the Shawnee and Johnson County community. Ryan, you were part of the 2020 Shawnee Tomorrow Leadership Class, right?
That's right, Chad, I was. The Shawnee Tomorrow Leadership Class of 2020, we had quite a year. We had an awesome and diverse group of members from all different types of industries, ranging from nonprofits, banking, and healthcare. We started off really strong with our team building orientation in the first few sessions, but unfortunately our class hit quite a snag in that whole coronavirus thing. That's why we've dubbed our 2020 class the COVID class. We did hear from a lot of great government leaders from city and county, and we were very pleased to have Mary Taylor for her last year involved with the program. We were really inspired by all the things we heard and the tidbits that we could take back to our organization and our personal lives. There might be a bit of Zoom fatigue, but I loved every single session that we were able to get in.
That's awesome. Seems like a program that really anybody could benefit from. Shawnee Tomorrow and Flex events were just some of the programs and events that the Chamber held. Luckily, we'll still be able to have a few of our signature Shawnee Chamber events in 2020. To hear more about that, let's take it over to Tim Davis and Heidi Thummel.
Thanks, Chad and Ryan. I'm Tim Davis, and this is Heidi Thummel. One of the best things about the Shawnee Chamber is the networking. For the past 75 years, the Shawnee Chamber of Commerce has been the best place to make connections and build relationships. And 2020 was no different. This year started out with my favorite event, the Shawnee Chamber Annual Dinner, where we sailed away and celebrated all night. After that, the Chamber was able to adapt and evolve and move almost all of our meetings to virtual, where we were able to continue making connections and building relationships just like we always have. In fact, many of our members even said they prefer the virtual meetings. That way they have the flexibility to attend no matter where they are.
Tim, the Chamber staff did a fantastic job of creating impactful programming for fun events in this virtual world. In fact, didn't I see you wearing a best disco suit at the annual trivia night? Yes. I was so impressed with how the team was able to transition that event to virtual. The theme was a hoot, and I know my team had a fun time dressing up that night too. I was also so happy that one of my favorite events was able to take place, which was the annual golf tournament. It looked a little different, but the weather ended up beautiful, and it was a great day at Lake Quivira. And I must say, congratulations to you on taking the winning trophy.
Thanks, Heidi. Just like the Chiefs, we plan to run it back again in 2021. It's going to be a great year.
That's right. The Chamber will continue both virtual and in-person events as health and safety guidelines are permitted. And while coronavirus restrictions have not allowed us to gather in January, we are so excited about what we have planned for our 75th anniversary to be able to celebrate all that's happened in the Chamber. So, we're moving our annual gala to June this year, and it'll be celebrated right here at Shawnee Town 1929. This outdoor event promises to be a spectacular, festive night with fun, friends, and amazing food as we look back over our remarkable history. We will be showcasing some of Shawnee's greatest places to eat and drink, and we'll have activities that'll liven up the theme and also include live music and, of course, a little dancing. So, details of the event, including sponsorship opportunities, will be hitting your inbox very soon. But for now, be sure to hold the date for Friday evening, June 25th.
That sounds awesome, Heidi. I cannot wait. Thank you so much, and thank you to everyone who helped us recap our amazing events this year. Now back to our amazing leaders, Parker, Michelle, and Ann.
That was so great to hear from everybody and get that bonus virtual tour of some of Shawnee's sites.
Clearly, the Chamber didn't let something like a worldwide pandemic and recession slow them down. As to be expected, the Chamber responded and innovated, creating opportunities and successes along the way.
Yes, Michelle, now that the challenges of 2020 are firmly in our rearview mirror, I believe 2021 holds so much promise. While the issues of public health and economic stability for small businesses are far from resolved, I know that the Chamber will be there to assist. The Chamber will continue to create connections to advocate for you and to influence the future of the Shawnee community. Just this month, affinity groups were launched, providing the opportunity to network in smaller groups. They'll help members gain the ideas, inspiration, and support to keep them on top of their business. We will work also to continue with the Shawnee Downtown Partnership. I know we have some plans to enhance our relationship with that organization, and we will hope to have more information on that soon.
I must say, I'm really impressed with how there are so many things happening here, all in Shawnee. It's not just the programs and events going on at the Chamber, it's also the general excitement and buzz in our community.
It's funny you should say that, Michelle. The Chamber's actually noticed just this and wants to capture that feeling with the new initiative that they are launching. They're really excited to showcase a lifestyle brand that they've been brainstorming and working on for the past few months. Let's see exactly what that looks like here with this new video of what they have for us.
It's not common to find a city that offers a bit of everything. A community rooted in tradition, but still growing. With a little something for everyone. Hometown favorites. To the newest hotspots. There's so much to explore. And certainly to plan for. That's why we know everything you could want or need, it's here. All in Shawnee.
Wow, that was so cool. I've heard from the team that there might even be some fun swag coming around. Those colors and all the things in the video really have me excited.
Me too. And I must say it's been a wild year, and this coming year will probably fly by too.
Mm-hmm.
Your team's been doing an amazing job, and I've heard there's a significant change with your staff.
It's true, Parker. It is time for a bit of a change at the Shawnee Chamber. This year, we are very sad that we will be seeing the retirement of our longtime staff member, our beloved Mary Taylor. Mary has served the Shawnee Chamber members since 2004 with her signature spunk, wit, and ability to organize and direct any event and any member. She has made a lasting impact on this organization and will be sorely missed. Mary, we wish you well on your new adventures in Florida, and we know that the friendships that you have made here will continue outside of the Shawnee Chamber. Now, with her retiring, Brandon Wilcox, Marlene Shirley, and Dustin Wolf will all take on elevated roles to help keep us offering our top-notch programming and membership service. If you have any questions about who to work with on anything the Chamber does, just give us a call or send any staff member an email. We are always happy to help. So Parker and Michelle, I do want to say thank you to both of you. I know it is a lot of extra work to take on chairing the Chamber Board on top of all of your duties that your job demands. So our members appreciate it, and the Shawnee Chamber is better for it. I also want to thank, again, all of our members and our sponsors for supporting us through this difficult year and making what we do possible. So as we wrap up this program, we are looking forward to the future with optimism about all of the opportunities our organization and community have in front of them. Thank you to everybody who's taken the time to watch today, and we look forward to seeing you in June at our 75th celebration or any other virtual or in-person gathering we will be hosting soon. And so with that, we will go ahead and conclude today's annual meeting.
Actually, it looks good. You look like Beyonce.
Yeah.
Times. One of our other favorites, Shanto's. I'm gonna never get that right. One of our other favorites, Shanto. Sancho's. Thank you. One of our other.
So Jake, I got a tip for you here. The more times we practice the first part, the more cheers we get to do. You know, and if we're like halfway through and we need a refill, then we just have to get a refill.
I'm gonna be half done by the time. All right.
That one was loud.
You want to do it again?
Yeah, let's do it again. Just
Okay.
to say sorry.
It's okay.
That one I was.
I couldn't hear myself think.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Neighborhood spots to hear from Mike McVeigh and Jake Akehurst. Oh, thanks, Horn.
Can we do it one more time?
Yes.
Eric, quit doing this.
If you can put it.
Nobody's like walked behind you there.
I could have said, you know what, whoever takes over this program, they're just going to run it into the ground.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Amy's not here to defend herself, though.